You gotta turn that music off.
You always have the whole. For iPlus News, I'm John Ott. Marcus Houston is still dealing with criticisms over his marriage
No.
to
I
a
don't want to hear
woman.
no one's commentary. That's why we're gonna just read it.
Marriage to a woman 19 years younger than him. The two
You
met when
gotta
she was
turn that
17
off.
years old.
Hold up.
You can just leave his picture up.
And now, no gossip, no rumors, just truth. Only uncensored. It's on Prime.
When I go through my career, I always look at it as I didn't sell 10 platinum, I didn't sell 20 million albums, I didn't go on world tours, accomplish the things that I thought I wanted to accomplish as a solo artist. But what I did do is inspire a generation to be great. So, you think about the people that you've touched that you don't know that you've touched, and the people that you've inspired. And to me, that's the satisfaction that I get out of a career and of course, a career that's been able to go through so many different stages and weather so many different storms and to still be here and to be on top of my game now as a filmmaker. It's great.
Okay, we gotta be careful because of copyright and stuff. Let's fast forward some of this.
Well, tell me
Let's not have it so long.
Doing it live?
Let me see the
That's what I'm
remote.
saying, yeah.
Boom, boom, bad house. Tell me what I have to do here.
Just fast forward or play.
Which one is fast forward? Down here. Okay, good.
Mark, you just said I'm a top game as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Sorry. Did I put my phone over here?
I have no idea.
Robert?
Because I was using it for the.
Is this your phone?
Destiny Child.
Is this
So we first met them in Houston. We were headlining a show and they opened up for us in Houston.
Because you need for the video, don't we?
Is this it?
Is this unsung?
Uh-oh.
She was of age and,
Yeah, this is it. Good job, man.
people don't understand it.
And we still got to read the article of the other things he said about women his age.
What really hurts me the most is my wife and my daughter. They don't get to, I would have wanted them to, be able to meet my mom and spend time with her and stuff like that, especially having a daughter, So, but I lost her when I was 15. So I get a call right in the middle of our London tour that,
Yeah, you introduced me
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
You started the show.
Yeah. So
Just introduced it.
and I'm like,
You're not live now, right?
okay.
we are live.
What are you doing?
Yo. Hi, everybody. We have no producers, y'all. So I am here with
Ulrich.
and come on.
Daniel B.
Daniel B, Ulrich, Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg. We have no producers here. So if you ever wonder how things move so smoothly in those other YouTube channels, it's usually because they have a producer. And I'm here to tell you that you need to show your producer some more love. Stop being so damn hard on your producer. Come on, because we don't even have one. We need one. And as you can see, we could have waited until we figured this out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We should have waited.
Yeah.
Should have waited. Should have waited. See? I think we should have waited. See? I'm still your host, Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. And I still love you. And you are appreciated for coming to this unorganized, so to speak, podcast where we're going to talk about things that are current, things that are hot topics, and also coming from an objective perspective, one in which you're getting a guy like me, a guy like him, and a guy like him. And what makes us so unique, one might ask. The argument could be made, we don't want this here, like this?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, we need that there.
I know golden.
Exactly.
Clearly.
Golden grams. So what makes us unique is our life experiences and all these different things that's happened throughout our lives. Where some might say those are just anecdotal experiences you guys are coming from. Where is the stats? And we all know about those people that know how to read stats. Do we really care about their opinions? Do we even trust what they have to say if that's all they have is stats? See, we here at the Premium Black News Channel, we do work with stats, but you're never going to hear us just spilling out all that information. And we're talking about a guy like me, restaurateur, okay, hospitality, and now cannabis. That was my life. I lived a long one, a nice one, full of so much opportunity. And we got a guy like Ulrich, educator. He's a young guy, younger than us. He's the youngest guy here. He speaks for the guy who, when he gets out of his job on a Friday, is trying to blow it by Monday or Saturday.
Okay.
I'll take it.
He said, I'll take it. Okay, with Daniel B and myself, we can't even dream to do that stuff. It'll be irresponsible, and we have children, and we have like mortgages, so to speak, where we can't live like that reckless. And we got a guy like Daniel B, who is an entrepreneur, who knows all about opening up a business from nothing to something and making a profit. And that's difficult to bump into a person like that. He also has edited magazines. He's worked for cable television, and he's old enough to have worked for .com companies. And you're getting those kind of experiences here. So yes, we are a little unorganized, trying to figure out whether we're going to read the article or find where the part in the salaciousness goes with this Marcus Houston thing. We get that.
Why not read the article? I can read the
We
article.
are going to read the article,
Yeah.
but the article is going to come after this segment.
Gotcha.
All right, T. Riddler's here. You are respected and appreciated.
You do, T. Riddler.
LJ's here.
YouTube's not sending out notifications, T. Riddler says. T. Riddler, you need to you need to
It's
you
a
need to call
conspiracy.
somebody.
What you gonna do? Come on.
T. Riddler needs to call somebody. I'ma slap you 3, boy. Thank you, Nicholas. Hello to you too.
Violence. Woke up with violence. Ain't that how that goes, D?
Yup.
All right.
Yo, I
How you
like the
doing,
swag,
Tasha?
man. Yo, I
Always
must
nice
say,
to see you.
It's a good looking swag you got there.
What's up, T. Riddler? You got
No, I
beef?
say.
No,
Yeah.
what's up? I like it.
Alright.
Thank you for letting us know, by the way, about YouTube.
All right. So basically, the great thing about coming to Daniel B's penthouse is that he has prime. He pays for everything. So he found Marcus Houston without us having to do, just looking for a clip. We're gonna get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And this is an interview that he did on TV One. TV One, we want to let you know that this is for news purposes only. We're using your images that you're providing so that we can have a discourse. Please don't flag us.
Plus, TV1, I used to work for you many moons ago and help create this, so.
If it wasn't for Daniel B,
Exactly.
where would you
Yeah,
be?
yeah.
Okay? Sorry we got cocky like that, but
I did not partake.
and the cockiness? What's going on with this thing? Why does it go higher up? Oh no, I had it down because we were gonna do the TV. All right, so hold up. I had this on the edge of the thing. Is that okay? Can we put something on the floor here? Underneath it? All right,
Innovative.
Perfect. That's that eyeglass case to the rescue here. All right, Big Elvis the chef,
You got a remote.
Ulrich and Daniel B. We are
Over today.
going to talk about this young man here.
Tour's over. We fly home. I got home off the plane, and so I called my dad, and he let me speak to my mom, and she could barely even talk. So she barely uttered the words "I love you." It was that was my last time hearing her speak, and what really hurts me the most is my wife and my daughter. they don't get to, I would have wanted them to, be able to meet my mom and spend time with her and stuff like that, especially having a daughter, So, but yeah, so it's tough, but gotta deal with it. Yeah, so my dad would always tell me that. He would always tell me, like, when I met your mom, I knew right away, boom, hands down, no questions asked. He was like, when you meet your wife, you're gonna know. Me and my wife's situation is a little different, how we met, through mutual friends and everything like that. When I met my wife, she was 17. So, we had no really conversation.
Wait, is that
no
correct?
Really connection.
Is that correct? That doesn't sound correct.
What?
I thought she was younger than that
You think his wife was younger than 17?
when they first met.
When they
That's
first met.
that was part of the whole narrative, and that's why it was so salacious. If it was 17, it would have been weird, but it wouldn't have been like that. Like that. So I could have okay. Maybe he's like the kids say, dragging it.
Dragging it.
Till, she was of age, and it's people don't understand it.
Let's hear that again.
And I got a lot of course, I got a lot of backlash for. How we met, through mutual friends and everything like that. When I met my wife, she was 17. So, we had no really conversation and no really connection until, she was of age, and, it's.
Oh, no. No, he's not a good liar.
You're right.
He's not a good liar, respectfully. Whoa. He is not a good liar. But look at this picture. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
God is so good, right? I mean,
This looks unreal.
damn. Let's go back.
You're gonna know. Me and my wife's situation is a little different. How we met, through mutual friends and everything like that.
Yes, yes.
When I met my wife, she was 17. So, we had no really conversation and no really connection until, she was of age, and,
Yeah. Look at his
Why
eye.
would they redo that?
Daniel
Why would
B.
they redo that
Look
shit?
at his eye. He looks up. He looks
That's the
up.
only time he looked
He's
up.
looking up at Jehovah, man. Stop.
That was good. That was a good line.
That was good.
it's people don't understand it. And I got a lot of course, I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone I was 19. And when we did finally start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. And she was just like, when I would talk to her, she just, for one, we had spiritual connection. And I feel like that's the most important thing. We both love God.
Wait, stop, wait, for one, wait. She's like him because they had a spiritual connection? She's...
In other words, he's so devout,
and they were both really devout?
She's so devout, and he's so devout about God that God is what brought them together.
Oh, that's what brought us together, not her fine ass. Okay.
It helped. I mean, like,
No, it was God.
like look at his smile. It's so real. I mean,
He's like,
yeah,
I won.
I won.
I won.
I won.
Yeah, it's like maniacal. Isn't it?
He's almost the bad guy.
Yeah,
He's almost like the Joker right here in this picture. He's
That's
smiling.
insane.
He's looking like the Joker. Like he has truly won. Damn. Oh my God.
And that was key. And being able to start being around her and talking to her and talking to like,
Whoa.
we connect.
What did he say? Finally being able
Yeah,
to be
finally.
around. Like
I'll say he's laying in wait.
he was
like,
waiting. He was like, girl, we got 7
But
more
come
days
on.
to be around each other.
All right. I'm not. Look, I'm not even implying that he did anything inappropriate with her sexually before age, but I there's absolutely I do not believe under any circumstances that he didn't make overtures towards a relationship or overtures towards romantic feelings tour when she was younger.
Right.
That's why, because it popped off pretty quickly. You know, she had to make some kind of like it's still messed up to be like I love you and I'm American. That's still messed up.
Really?
You know? Yeah. So, all right.
into music, and you know, her spirit, her kindness, her heart reminds me a lot of my mom. And just, you know, we connected on so many different levels of like, you know, not our age. You look at our age and it's like, well, how do you connect with somebody? Well, it's just like with me. When I was younger, how did I connect with all these adults? Like my brain was ready for that. It was like, how do you stick a kid in this life and expect them to maintain or manage? Like, what really got me is one time we had an argument about, she told me, like, don't nobody care about you. Like, you ain't famous no more. Like, I didn't even know who you were. Like, so get out of here. And I just remember, like, being like, I love you. Because she saw me for who I was.
I knew that's why he was saying that though.
Right.
That's why he was saying that to say how genuine she was. How she he's like bigging her up, saying that like she didn't like him for the fame. She literally liked him for his beautiful soul, and that he didn't
Why?
care.
You have a problem with that?
Huh?
He's
lying. He's
lying.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. He's trying. No, he's letting us know that. He's letting us know. He's letting the crowd know that.
Boom.
Thank you.
Show the camera, please. Can you tilt it a little bit? Ooh, there we go. What is this libation you just made?
Hey, we only drink lemonade over here.
Yes.
Only lemonade? Okay. All right. That's what we're doing.
That's what
Okay. All right, you know, we're adult men here. You know,
Yeah.
we do have alcohol. We drink alcohol. I don't drink as much as anyone you guys do. But what is it that y'all drinking?
Huh?
You go with Jim?
Yeah. That's better.
What are y'all drinking?
Actually, let me add. So this is a gin cocktail with bitters and soda, and I need to add.
I could have sworn I thought I saw you put vodka in there.
No, that was gin.
Oh,
Oh,
gin.
shoot! You know what? I did put vodka in there.
Exactly.
Wait, did I?
What? What the fudge?
No, gin.
Gin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I was about
So
to
it's
say.
it's gin with what? Salsa water?
No, soda water and bitters
Soda water, bitters, and some gin.
with the lime, with the lemon.
You got any? Oh, look,
You have
right
a
here.
tissue. Oh.
You know, you can play that while we're doing this. Just, where's my stuff?
How long does a drink take?
What? You want one?
No, I don't want one. I wasn't offered one, but I guess you knew I was going to say no. Yeah, and you don't want to waste a good gin on me.
You need a sweeter?
Okay, maybe I'll take splash. Sure.
What,
All right, this is what a
how does it taste?
digression.
How does it taste?
Oh, you want to try it?
Yeah, let me try it.
Yeah,
Let me
go
see
on.
what Dang is doing here. Did you stir it? Did you shake it? Or
No,
you just
no, I
pour it
just
on
drank
top?
it.
Just pour it over the ice, right?
No,
So how are you going to taste it if it's not moved around? That ice?
I'm not a connoisseur. I'm a man.
You're a man. Mmm.
You
That's
stir?
delicious. What? Do not put anything sweet in that drink. How dare you? Oh, that's a good drink, man. Look, they ruining it with the sweet shit. Okay, that's a really great gin. What kind of gin is that? Let me see this gin. Stop the show.
It's open.
We'll be
the
back
show.
after these new messages.
Look at this.
Absent-minded professor. She's like 22 now. Oh, wait. I need to back up. All right. Don't hate on I'm not hating on Marcus T. Riddler. You stop hating on me. I don't even got anything for you.
All right, Daniel has a stirrer for you.
Okay. I've lived in South America so long that it's hard for me to understand the big word teacher uses. Is that a dig? I don't even understand. All right, hold up, Roger. Roger got me about 43. How old's this girl? All right, she's about 22 now. All right. You know, it's all right. Go
All
ahead.
right, come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I always say God brought us together because we saved each other. You know, she had a very rough past, and there were women that I've dated that even now that are in their 40s, my age, that still don't know what they want. You know, when it comes to a relationship and a person that you're with, you know, people always talk about age difference, but it's like sometimes I feel like that age difference between us is what helps us work. You know, she respects who I am, I respect who she is. And that's just what it is. And we love each other and we respect each other. We've known each other for 4 years. Go for Grubhub. We have a beautiful little girl and it's going great, so. And my thing is like,
Oh damn, she's already morphing.
don't know our situation. When people see us together,
She has a weird looking thing going on there, right?
Yeah, just have see.
We're friends. And
Why
and
he's
this-
gonna
people
leave
don't
her,
understand, when
man.
you're in this industry,
He's
you
gonna
don't
leave
age.
her.
It's
What?
just something about
He is
What
going
are
to
you saying?
leave her.
He's gonna leave her.
He's gonna leave her. Watch, just you watch. It's a few years and she's not gonna be that little toy. She's not gonna be so. Now that she has his kid, she's not gonna be as reverent of him. I don't believe. I don't know. I
What gave you that impression? That
I-
smirk that she had?
yeah. She's like not as happy. She's a little more jaded. I
Let me
don't
go
know.
back. Let's go back to the smirk.
Their whole face is both of
we have a
the.
beautiful little girl and it's going great. So
See, I don't know.
I put on a scarf so I can look like Marcus Houston right now.
Yeah, that's good. I love
Why don't
the
you
scarf.
show
I
them-
left
show
my
them what
scarf.
you're
I had
talking about.
my scarf is in the car.
Got my Marcus Houston scarf on, okay?
Right.
This is
Good
how
job,
this is
good
how
job.
us God spiritual people that find a woman spiritually, this is how we
Okay,
do it.
okay.
Regardless of the age. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Okay. I hear all that flashing.
And my thing is like, you don't know me. You don't know our situation. When people see us together, they get it. People look up to us as a couple.
How would they get it by
That's not a
seeing you
couple.
together? It doesn't
We're
make any
friends.
sense.
And this,
Well, he's
people
in-
don't
they're
understand,
in their
when you're this
bubble.
industry, you don't
In their
age.
bubble, they're like
It's just something about
happy.
you.
Everyone is happy.
Because you keep a youthful spirit. Because you know, I'm not doing what my dad did. My dad worked for the phone company. You know, he had a different life. You know, my dad's 40 is way different than my 40. My 40 is like 20. You know what I mean? Like, I guess because
What
it
the
was-
fuck?
it was just-
What are you talk? What are you talking about? So you're not saying that she's super mature. You're just saying you're as immature as she is. That's what you just said. Your 40 is like a 20.
My 40s was not like my father's 40s because he was a sharecropper, and I'm not.
Yeah. Were you a mature man? Are you a mature man?
What he's saying is,
Can you handle your problems? Can you
okay,
handle
we're
your
gonna, we're gonna
issues?
watch it, then we'll
Okay.
yeah.
No, let's talk now.
Or he was like
Okay,
he was
let's
a
not
20.
wait,
What
because
is he
there
talking
might be
about?
something even more we're gonna talk
Okay,
about.
so my thing is this. He is.
Let's bring our way back.
Let me put my
You want
Marcus
me-
Houston scarf in this. Let me.
No, it's not a Marcus Houston scarf, dude. This is your scarf. You got fly shit like that. Let's not play that game.
Well, let me just say this. From what I gather from the
Take
thing,
one
he's
step
he's
to
a
the left.
okay.
Thank you.
So he mentioned that he is, you know, that people look up to them, people see them, and you could probably, you know, sometimes you see couples and you see the happiness in them. So there's nothing wrong with him saying that. Secondly, he said we met spiritually. That means, you know, they met on something else. Like it was spiritual. They could have talked about God. She could have a relationship. I don't date a woman who's an atheist.
So if you see it, okay. So let me just respond to the first.
Wait a minute. Whoa,
Wait,
whoa,
wait,
whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You don't date a woman that's an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So you find this out from the beginning.
Yes, whether they believe in God or
I
not.
mean, that's pretty
Will you
important.
smash
That's
a
very-
chick who's an atheist?
No,
You won't even smash.
no.
So you got in a situation where you were about to get some potential ass or booty for YouTube's sake, and then she mentioned that she's an atheist, and you stopped trying to have sex.
I
with
just
her?
told her that I would just probably, I'm gonna be honest, in the past I would have just said, hey, you know, I don't see a future with us. I need a woman who,
We
you know,
talking
believes
about
in
now,
God.
not a future.
Now? Oh,
We
no.
talking
I wouldn't do
about-
it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even get to that point without knowing.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But let me.
But then again, is, you know, certain criteria that we do have. Like, My thing, it depends where we're at in life. If you want to smash, it's just different. But if you want something for longevity, you know, it's like having a temp job. You want a temp job, or do you want something for longevity? Longevity is not someone who is an atheist. It's not, also not a person who's not willing to travel. I can meet the most beautiful woman in the world, and she's like, I don't like traveling.
Well, that's fair.
Wait,
We were
wait,
incredulous
wait.
about different
Wait,
things.
wait,
I think.
so
Wait.
you won't even date a woman who is not into traveling?
Yes.
Oh shucks, look what I just did. I messed up over
That's
there.
So I think Elvis was incredulous that you wouldn't date a woman that was atheist. I was incredulous that you wouldn't have sex with a woman that's atheist. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But
Because it's more about.
because sex is always a precursor to a relationship for you.
Well, nowadays, yes.
Okay, so it's a newer thing. So previously you would have sex with
Yeah,
atheists.
heartbeat in the hole. That was
Okay,
it.
all right, but now you want something serious. Okay, that makes sense.
Your life changes. You look at things differently. It's
No,
like
no,
back
that
in the day,
makes
just think
sense.
about it. If you were younger, you just want to. Oh, I want to. Or you're younger. But just say but even younger, you say I want a sports
Patronize me,
car.
sir.
I know. My apologies.
Why do you always get so
No,
extra
no,
sensitive? You are the youngest one here. But over 10 years.
I'm
Come on.
joking.
No,
I'm joking.
but it's just how you want a sports car as you get older. You're like, you know what? Maybe it's a little impractical. Maybe
I
I
never
want
was
something.
interested in even barely owning a car, and if I do, I want something safe.
Okay, see, then that's but a lot
Yeah,
of us.
Ulrich's first car is going to be the Lexus RX, most likely. Because
Well,
I told Ulrich that in 2000, it was involved in just as many crashes as every other car company, but not one person died.
Oh, perfect. Beautiful.
He was like,
perfect.
I want that
sounds
car.
good for me.
That's the car I want. The Lexus RX. Very safe vehicle.
And ideally one that doesn't crash either.
Well, all cars
I
crash.
don't want to be maimed either.
Yes, all cars crash. But anyway,
But back to Marcus Houston. I mean, I think the big issue everyone is talking about the age gap. She's 19, he's 40 plus.
right.
So it's a
He
20
claims that they didn't get
yeah.
serious. He
Until-
wouldn't even talk to her
Yeah.
until she was 18 years old. They didn't even he wouldn't even
Yeah, that's what I'm denying. I don't get, I'm not saying he had an inappropriate relation with her, but I would bet money, I would gamble on the fact that he made overtures of a romantic relationship, and he didn't just imply, he probably said it directly. I wouldn't be surprised if he kissed her on the lips or something like that. I'm not saying he went too far, but
I mean, I don't even know, because even when I was 20 something, if I met a young lady who was 17, I still would have been like, well, you need to holler at me a couple of years from now.
So when you get in a situation when you meet 17-year-olds?
I'm just saying, when I was 20, I'm just saying, if there was an example
Right.
of that,
So when Daniel was 20 years old, if he met a 17-year-old girl, he said, holler at me in a few years.
yeah, like I waited to the legal age, if I was even going in, which I won't normally did.
You just sound like Marcus Houston now.
Yeah,
Well, let me tell you one thing I know about Daniel B is that most of the women that I point out to him, the first thing he says to me is she's a baby. He says, the first thing he says to me, she's a baby. What are you talking about? And I'm talking about, these are like 25, 6, 7, 8-year-old women. I'm like, she's a hottie. He's like, she's a baby. And I'm like, oh, boy. And then, he said, I've got daughters, that whole.
He's tempering his expectations.
No, but you know what it is? It's more of what are we going to have a conversation about? And that's another thing with with Marcus. Women are mature faster than men.
Yeah, but
So
but,
a
but
woman's
you're, just,
19
you're proving the contrary point. So what they have a conversation about?
No.
What did Marcus usually have a conversation with her about? That?
See, but he lives a different life than, let's be honest, than most of us. He lives an entertainment life, so he's probably
Traveled
listening.
the world.
Yeah, he's listening to younger music. He's
Been involved in threesomes, all kind of stuff.
Wait, I don't know what younger music has to do with it.
Well, because he has something that she can relate to, and he can relate to. She, he may be tapped into something.
Yeah, he probably
that,
thinks Chief
yeah.
Keef is fire.
He knows. Wait, he knows the Chris Brown
So-
that she likes so much.
So what he mentioned earlier, the reason why he said they connected fully was that he found out that she was just as incredibly spiritual as he was.
Yes.
So I get so somehow he got into really deep conversation with this 17-year-old about spirituality, and apparently she said some things of wisdom.
Let me tell you, I went out with a girl,
I'm being
and
sarcastic.
no, I get it.
All right, go ahead.
I went out with a girl, and we didn't begin to talk about spirituality, but she see me. We went out to dinner. I took out to dinner, and I prayed before my meals.
Okay.
And then there's times I went out with women, seen them do it before their meals, and that's how.
And
we
saying
started
that's how
talking
you started connecting.
about- Yeah,
and
some women look surprised, like, "Oh my God, you pray!" Like, and that can spark the conversation, or you can say certain things and be like, you know what, God willing, you can say certain things and people just like, ooh, you can say God is good, thing, you know. What do
All
you
the
say after
time.
that? Exactly. You know,
Oh,
and
you do say that constantly.
God is good all the time, but we all know who I'm talking about when I'm talking about God.
Black Jesus. But
Me.
but
What,
you know,
what's your blasphemer?
I said, I'm talking about me.
You have lost your mind.
But go ahead.
so you know, there's different things, you know, for different individuals that can spark that. But sometimes you want that spirituality. It makes it easier when you both have the same train of thought. You know, if you both sitting there saying, you know, we're gonna follow this guidelines of, you know, the Bible, then that's one thing. If you're gonna say, oh, we're gonna follow these guidelines of other things, whatever it is.
So you said we were talking earlier, and you said something interesting that you were born into being Jehovah's Witness.
Whoa. I didn't know if I was sharing that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was born in being well, let me rephrase that. Later on in my teenage years, I was, you know, introduced to,
Oh,
you know.
can I just say something?
Mhm.
You can't lie on the mic.
Yeah.
And
So-
everybody can get it. So if you hear me say something, you gotta shout me out.
Mhm.
So if I hear you say something, we've been around each other a long time. I don't wanna, you know, come on.
So let me put it to you this way. My first interfaith period was Baptist. I went to Pilgrim Christian Academy, a school in Brooklyn. And you had to know it was Reverend Brown. He was big reverend in all neighborhood, and we went to his school, and that was my first kind of foray into just the whole biblical thing, because he made us learn. If you didn't learn your verses, you were getting spanked.
Yeah.
You literally was getting spanked. So that was my first thing, was this Baptist thing that we had to go to. Then later on, it was weird dynamic, because my mother began studying as a Jehovah's Witness. Well, she always was, but more so involving me in it. But then she sent me to a black Muslim school. I went to this school called Al Kareem. Yeah. That's which now changed exactly, which now changed to the Kush school. So that was another thing to do, just being around a lot of Muslim young men and just, you know, understanding that. While still,
But we're talking elementary at the moment.
yes,
This is all done
yes,
before he was 10 years old.
Exactly. Then Jehovah's Witness. Then I got baptized. Then I
As a Jehovah's Witness.
yes, you know.
He was in the Jehovah's Witness church. Daniel was the most popular Jehovah's Witness and all of that. They have their churches, they call them Kingdom Halls. And no one was shining brighter than Daniel in that Kingdom Hall. Let's not play that game.
But then also, you know, it was conflicting for me because I was very pro-black because of the environment I was. So, you know, I would go there and be like, why there's not enough brothers on the wall or in, you know, the magazines.
Yes.
You know, and that's due to my stepfather.
And let me just also say this. This is now he's jumping to his late teens, where he started to stir the pot and go, yo, I'm rocking for the church. I'm the most popular one here. Let me tell you something. Why come I only see white people in all your books? And they was like, whoa, it ain't like that. But let me tell you, he was one of the people that helped make that change in that religion, where they started to put black people and brown people onto their publications. Before that, it didn't exist. We're not even talking about one person. And Daniel was the only person that I knew, 18, 19 years old, that was challenging the church about not having any black people on their stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it was just more of like, it's, you know, I think it was, you know, teenage rebellion. I think it was a little before that because I left when I was 18, but it was just more of understanding. I wanted to understand how, like, everything is a little too passive for me. So my thing is, you know,
faith, a lot of faith.
Yeah, it's a lot of faith, which I get now. And you know, as you get older, you understand it more. But as a young person, you're sitting there saying, so wait, during the civil rights, you guys didn't take a side? You know, and it's just, you know, that was my biggest thing. During slavery, you didn't take a slide? You know, God's going to overcome? You know, that was my biggest thing. Is like, God is going to make it happen. And I get God's going to make it. But he says prayer without works is nothing. So let's work towards it. Let's, you know, like, if this is what God, if God doesn't like slavery, let's, you know, like, I'm sure he doesn't want people beat, from what I read. So, you know, it was a lot of difficult things going through and understanding.
I mentioned the Jehovah's Witness thing to speak about Marcus Houston also being a Jehovah's Witness.
Possibly.
And
Are we sure he is?
No, he is.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I know he did mention Jehovah's
active in the Kingdom Hall, and a ministerial servant. So he's putting in the hours, and he's knocking on people's doors in the in his elite.
Wait, are they
neighborhood.
doing that anymore?
I don't know. Maybe they're not.
I
Are
don't
they
think they
not?
are. I mean, I just see them.
You don't
doing
knock
it.
on doors anymore.
I don't know. I don't think they do as much, especially during the pandemic. I think they kind of.
Well, can I just say for the record, that's the part that I hated the most. When I was
Heck,
growing up,
man.
my mom having me now, I have to knock on people's doors and tell them about something I 100% wasn't believing in none of it. But I will tell you this much. There were some fine sisters in that damn Kingdom Hall, boy. Woo-wee.
I think there's fine women in every religion.
No,
I'm just gonna leave it alone.
not. You see what Marcus Houston found in that church? They got a few like that, and they got fathers and mothers, and they're not openly into arranged marriages.
That was what I was gonna imply. That
They're
was
not
gonna be my
openly
major
into
question.
arranged marriages, but the way it works is you meet somebody in the church. Then you left what? When you left? Before you was 18. You left at 18. And I just had a huge flashback of your mom just now. Flipping that you left the church because you didn't go to your prom. You know that? She like, he only leaving the church because I said he couldn't go to his prom. And he's
That
like,
sucks.
no, I'm leaving the church because they had enough black people. So that was always like really, Daniel was the man back then.
It was a very difficult time in my childhood.
Yeah, but you was always outspoken. So that was attractive, Daniel was massively outspoken.
Like, yeah, I got in trouble because I believed that people should use condoms. And I remember that was one of the issues.
Like you made us like stink for the whole like school. You
I was in my high school supporting condom use and giving out condoms to kids in high school. And I never forget they came to me and said, well, kids shouldn't be having sex. And I said, well, if they're going to choose to, why don't they just use precautions? That was my biggest thing. Is like, people want to do something. Like, it sounds
social
good.
justice warrior.
It sounds good, but truth of the matter, but it's again, what, change is constant, and the religion has changed in itself.
Right.
And what the expectation was, it was a little stricter when I was there, and I think now it's lax a little bit more. But I do still.
Oh, it definitely lax. When I was there, you couldn't go to college.
Yes.
You couldn't go to college, but let me tell you this:
That's
all that.
interesting.
Let me rephrase that. It was not promoted.
No.
going to college.
No. It was frowned upon.
Yes, it was
like
definitely frowned upon.
they would have to come talk to you. You not to go into any college. They were on some nice.
because college was potentially debaucherous.
Yes,
That-
and no sports.
You know what it was?
and
It
they,
was-
sports.
they're anti-sports. Jehovah's
Anti-sports.
Witness?
It's kind of who you associate with.
I
It was
didn't
just
know
a
that.
precaution.
That's
You know what? No, it was a precaution of who you associate with, and that was another thing to me. It was like you're not promoting college, but you're sitting there and you need lawyers. Like you have Jehovah's Witnesses that are lawyers that went to Supreme Court and everything else. I was
Right.
like, they had to go to college to do that. So
They have massive
yeah,
lawyers.
exactly.
See, the way it worked was it's a huge hierarchy in that religion.
Yeah,
There was a huge hierarchy in the religion, and a lot of these men, they're like gods over there. It's crazy. Like they have those guys that was running the show. You should have seen the way my mother was. You would have thought it was you would have thought it was Teddy Pendergrass up there. The way my mother was acting over these people. And I used to just be like, yo, I can't wait to get out of this. I couldn't wait to get out of that situation. Because it just wasn't, to me, it just wasn't like, I just didn't, but, I don't believe in warlocks and witches and goblins and all that kind of stuff, I'm not with it. If you want me to believe in that, do it. I should believe in the fairy godmother too. But anyway, I digress from that. But we do have a young man here who sees a girl who had a bad life. He says she had a rough life because the whole thing was that she had an issue with her step-parent. One of her step-parents, she runs away from home, so they did a missing person report on her. So at the time when Marcus Houston knew her, she was very, very close. This is what they say, that there's this girl, like his ex-producer. He has a producer, and this producer...
There's Chris Stokes.
Yeah, Chris
Oh,
Stokes.
that guy.
Chris
That
Stokes
is-
is a big Jehovah's Witness guy.
Is he?
Yeah, Chris Stokes is
Isn't
huge
he,
in the
isn't he
Jehovah's Witness
absolutely
world.
scandalous?
Yeah, I
There
thought
was
he
a scandal with
yeah,
him,
with
but
him
there was
sleeping with
not.
wasn't he-
B2K.
There was never any proof to that. And then the B2K guy, he's like, he suffers from like mental
he
illness
definitely
and all that
does.
kind
Oh,
of stuff. So, you know,
yeah, I heard that, but I heard them saying that was a way to try to invalidate his complaints.
No. He's literally.
He could be mentally ill, but that doesn't mean he's lying.
No,
about what
at
that
all,
thing-
but I think- but he-
those two
yeah,
separate
but you gotta have
things.
receipts though. You know, you gotta have receipts.
But also,
Receipts of somebody
no,
like
but-
what kind of child's gonna have receipts?
No, but he's
Well,
also talked about.
somebody assaulted
But
him.
he's
What the
he's
heck?
also said things about other people that he's never even met.
Mm.
He'll just be like, yeah, Bill Cosby drugged me, and you know, like he'll say
Yeah,
something
but
like
didn't
that.
Crystal? Multiple people said things about Crystal.
No, that's
just
the
him.
rumor.
It was
That's
just
the
him.
Wait,
rumor.
but not Little Fizz. The other one, the other there's Little
No, there's
Fizz,
only one.
Omarion, there's Razby, and there's the other one from.
I think it was
B2K.
Razby that was.
No, it was Razby who did it, but there's another guy from B2K who also like.
I don't have
I
any
don't-
information
I
on
don't-
that. And I looked for some more information. It was just the one guy, and he included the people with him. He said, "Yeah,
Does
he did
this
it to
have
me and
anything
did it
that
to this
all
person."
right? All right. There seems to be some kind of allegiance here. I'm just they're just I don't want to make any implications or anything.
Right.
Well, I forget. It seems
Say what you gotta say. all right?
it seems like you're apologetic for Box Houston and Chris Stokes, both.
I'm just trying to move on from
other
the Chris
Jehovah's
Stokes thing.
Witnesses thing.
No.
All right.
No. If you hear me talk about Jehovah's Witnesses, you would definitely take that away.
Alright.
I don't really have many great things to say about that place.
Well,
Because you know, at the end of the day,
so
the
you
day,
admit, well, yeah.
my
Alright.
mother chose them over me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That was 100% fact. My mother chose the church and that life over me, and that's just there's no way
It's
around
all-
that, you know. So I have, I got no tea for that fever at all. But I know that the church got some fine ass women in that church. That's a fact. I remember I used to be a little kid going through puberty in that church, and I used to have to I was afraid to stand up half the time. Every time we had to open up to the next chapter, the wind of the Bible had me uncomfortable. Oh dang, I gotta stand up now.
That is, even though that's well, that's okay.
Yeah, in other words, it wasn't a room full of old ladies in big ugly
I
hats.
got you.
That wasn't what the room was like. The room was popping. And now, so I see that in that church, they're really strict. You have to date with groups. And then you slowly get to know each other. They don't put you in situations where you're going to be alone too often. So it's probably when he saw her, you see, can I just keep it real? You see somebody 16, 17, 18 years old, you're a grown man, you see the potential in this person. You can you can look at my son, 12 years old, and see that there's massive potential here.
I'm not saying that's not. You can completely turn off something like that and just be like have some kind of morals attached to your libido. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but you can stop yourself from taking the actions that we're. I think we're in opposition to
My point is that Marcus Houston said that he met her at 17. And nothing happened till she was 18. I could see that. I could see somebody looking at this young lady like, because she had that issue with the father, and she supposedly the way they talk about it is that guy Chris Stokes, his daughter were best friends, and that they were always at the house. They were always hanging out real close. Him and his daughter. And people on the internet are saying, yeah, but that's the same exact time that she was fighting with her biological parents and step parents about custody and some issues. So was she living there? Because he now takes the girl, his daughter and her best friend are now going to the church with him. So Chris Stokes is sitting in church with his daughter and her best friend. Marcus Houston also goes to that church. So maybe he's sitting in a different section. Whatever the case is, these churches are big. These churches fit 500 people easily. The ones in the ghetto fit 500 people. So the ones in Atlanta, Georgia probably fits 1,000 people. All I'm saying is that the rumor is, I can see it. You see potential in people. It doesn't have to be a sexual thing. It doesn't have to be a sexual thing. There are men that see a woman. You can see a woman.
I'm not talking about seeing potential being a sexual thing. I'm talking about seeing the potential and taking steps towards making that potential a reality. I'm talking about, and that's what I assume was the case. I'm not saying
Right.
Martin.
I agree. That's probably what it was. He saw her. She's his manager's daughter's best friend, and
He
he's
just
like,
started sneaking around. Just started.
no,
doing,
why you gotta sneak
When I say
around?
sneaking
You could've
around,
had to-
no. When I say sneaking around, started. Excuse me. She started coming around more, trying to maybe using that relationship to hang out more, to try to start to get close to. I don't
Why
know.
he couldn't even just say, "Hey, I
I
want
don't
to take
know.
you out"?
At
Why is
17, you have to be careful.
No, I'm
with
talking
that.
about I'm talking about like when she was 20, when she was. When he said he started talking to her
18,
when 18,
18.
just when she was 18. No,
Married her
seriously.
when she was 19.
No, let me tell you, I'm very like I would. Let me tell you, even at 20, I would never have done it and show a person. I wouldn't mess with a
I'm
woman.
not talking about you. We're talking about Mark.
No, but I'm just saying I can see the possibility because even though I can see.
So
it
you're
being
saying
a-
so you're saying you see you understand.
Let
the
me tell you, I
situation?
won't. Again, another issue I won't do is I won't mess with somebody who's married, even if they separated. I wouldn't
Alright,
mess with a.
so that's a different situation.
No, so I'm saying it's certain guidelines that
You're talking
men
about
have.
principles.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
certain guidelines
Yeah.
that we have that we
But
put.
you didn't speak to any principles just now. I'm saying, would you in the same situation? But she was because I guess we're in opposition to what actually happened.
yeah.
I assume that since that Mark Houston was being romantic towards her beforehand, right? Now I guess you believe him and you say that.
No, I'm just saying there's a possibility.
Okay,
I don't want
so
to.
so we're arguing if the possibility is okay. Okay, so let's potentially say it did go my way, and Marcus Houston like saw when she was 17 and started coming around and started saying, I see potential in I see potential in her. I want to get closer to her. I'm not going to do anything cross the line,
Right.
but I still got I still got an issue. with that.
Why?
Yeah, I still got an
Why?
issue with that.
Isn't that the perfect situation?
That's the definition of creep. That's when you that's like waiting around for a mother like a chick who has a boyfriend and just being really patient. It's the same lying
he's gonna
it's
break up.
lying
I
in
don't see
wait.
that.
I don't mess with it's lying in wait.
So if you see the job and you see somebody that has that position, and you sit there and say,
Why
I'm
we
going to wait
talking
till that's
romantics?
happening.
We're talking
No,
about romantics.
no. Oh, wait.
That's-
This is a
You just
good
said-
example.
you said-
absolutely apples and oranges.
You said waiting for something, so you
What?
anticipating
But you don't
something.
leave something before while you still. You're talking about leaving a potential to get a new job. You think that?
No, he's saying you see that there's a position that you want to be in, and you see the person in that position is about to be fired, and you can't wait because you already talked to the boss and you told the boss, listen, I see this guy messed up 3 times.
No, I'm not like that. No, that's. I wish I listened to the rest of that. No, that's nothing like I would ever even be like.
Let me tell you, I'm waiting
But then
for
you're not ready for corporate America.
ridiculous.
sir.
I'm waiting for
Yeah.
Jay-Z to mess up with
That's-
Beyonce, and I feel like I'm next.
Yeah, so you're lying, wait ass.
You think you could get Beyonce?
Let me be honest. I believe, yes, I do.
Really?
I do.
Please tell us how would you be able to
I
get
believe,
Beyonce?
let me tell you,
Hey,
I believe anything is possible.
Right.
I have dated women who men feel are unattainable. I won't
It's
say
just
their
ruin your
names,
credibility.
but it's just more of people be like, wow, like this person is here now. They have a Grammy, they have an Emmy. And I'm like, yes, we dated, because that's not an issue. Because at the end of the day, it's like their job. And when you realize it's a job, it doesn't matter what they do. It's just that their job is where they have to be famous and they're doing movies.
I saw so much truth in that, dude.
And once you
They're
realize
just
that, they just
people.
want to be exactly.
I'm not saying you should be afraid of them. I'm talking about. I'm not saying
No,
you should be
let me
scared
tell
to
you,
come.
they want to be happy like everyone else does. Everyone has the same things, no matter how much money you have, how
I'm
much
not
success.
arguing the essence of them as human beings. I'm talking about the potential for you being able to
Why not?
attain them
Why not?
as romantic partners. I'm not talking about. I know that they're not any different because they're famous. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the potential or the opportunity to be able to
Yes.
attain them.
Yes.
There's
There's always a potential opportunity to make it happen.
Okay. all
Yeah,
right.
listen, let me tell you this, man. When I was coming up, when I was younger, I used to say things like, if I could just get in the room, I could get her. I just needed to get in that room. If I could just get in the room.
That's a legitimate obstacle. So you're in a
So
you're in a
that's why
position.
I asked Daniel, how will you get her? Will you be able to get into the room where she's at?
There's no room that I can't get into at
See,
some
we
point in
just-
some
listen.
time. And that's no, seriously. And I'm not just saying that. And I'll say this off camera, but I can give you a list, and you'll be like, "Wow."
I know the list. I know
I'm
what
not-
you're
I've
saying.
listened to music and sat there and said, "Wow, I really like this R&B singer." and being a kid, and eventually, I've dated that R&B singer, and had them sing that same song that I was listening to.
Listen,
You know?
listen, I think that's very possible.
Damn,
that
I
could
actually got
happen.
pictures of that person.
I think that's very possible
And
that.
do you have pictures of that person from back in the
Yes,
day?
I spoke to the person all the time.
All right, because I got some receipts for you. Daniel got a lot of receipts. He's been in a lot of rooms. Daniel's the kind of guy you watch TV and you go, look, Daniel right there in the background. So, you know, there's been a lot of that throughout the life, you know, especially in the industry. Daniel was heavy in the industry. He was an associate editor to a magazine. He doesn't want to talk about that too much. I don't know, but if ever you want to talk about that, you know, you can hear.
No,
And-
you know what it is? I realize it, and I hate to say this, and if you're black, it's easy. It's very few. You know, they say 6 degrees of separation. I believe there's
Right.
only 2.
Like
I
went
can-
while being black.
Exactly. It's you know, and it's sad to say it's very few of us. So it's nothing to me to Obama and get invited to the White House.
Okay.
You know, like it's no one.
So-
if,
so
like
I- so I don't-
when I
I
see Oprah, it's like okay,
So
I can go meet
first of all,
Oprah.
I don't think meeting a celebrity is a special thing. I
Right.
think having them pick you as a romantic partner is a special thing.
Right.
And I think it's not. And I'm not saying it's impossible. And I appreciate your confidence. And you I don't even know what else to call it. I appreciate your ability to dream and aspire. But I'm just so let's
Little like
let's-
Dick.
Well,
there.
it's
Little
less
like Dick.
of,
Little
it's
like
less of
Dick
a
there.
dream and inspire them when I actually can do it.
Yeah.
Like I get
Well,
what you're
why-
I
saying.
like
why-
the argument
so why
that
do-
there's only
why-
2 degrees of separation
Why
when
do
it
you
comes
think?
to
Why
black.
do you think Beyonce would like you specifically? Forget the chance. Forget that you have the opportunity to meet Beyonce. I don't think. I think you can get. In many
Oh,
rooms.
I've been
Many-
Beyonce. No,
I
numerous
think you
times.
can meet. I think you can
No,
meet
no, no.
many
I've,
people.
no, no, no. I've
I'm
met
saying,
Beyonce. No, no.
what makes you think? What makes you think specifically that there's some romantic connection y'all both have?
I'm not saying that there is, but
I'm not
just-
saying that. And I'm not
Okay.
talking. I'm not saying you're not handsome.
No, no,
I'm
no,
saying,
no,
I'm
no,
talking
no.
about
I'm
in,
just saying-
in terms of the person has to. There has to
Guess
be
what?
mutual attraction.
I will
regardless.
never know unless that situation happens. So that's
But
my
what
thing.
gives you the confidence? Just that it's anything's possible.
Honestly,
what
let's
brings
stop.
you to
Let,
be
whoa,
more
whoa, 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 whoa. Let's stop. I don't like this hypothetical because this hypothetical would mean that Jay is not around, so we don't even need to
Yeah,
go
we
there.
don't do that
We
because
don't
I
even
think
need to,
that's
we don't even know
amazing.
to go
Yeah,
there. It was just a hypothetical where we're saying how Daniel, which brought up a great argument that if we're only 6 degrees of separation from anyone in the world, being black has led him to be 2 degrees separated from anyone in the world. And I like that argument a lot. I think there's a whole treatment that could be done on that. But what we're going to do is we're going to stay the course on Marcus Houston. And Marcus Houston is a young guy. He's younger than me. And he found a young...
How old is he?
He's 42 now.
Okay.
He found him a flower that was a little bit bruised up from dealing with her parents and all the issues she had with the parent. And he took an opportunity to wife this woman that he says chose him. He didn't choose her. And that she didn't even know. She let me know, and she grounded me by telling me, man, I'm with you for you. I don't care about your past and all that stardom. And he's like, I love you. And I could see that because a guy like Marcus Houston's probably been with every single color of the rainbow when it comes to women. Probably be involved in some serious everything from threesomes to orgy parties, or at least had that opportunity. And he found that life he didn't like anymore, and he wanted to be a little bit more. See, the thing with Jehovah's Witnesses, what's attractive about this group is the same that's attractive about the Muslims, is that they have massively rigid rules. And they're so rule-based. You're not praying 5 times a day, but you at that church 5 times a week. You know, you are involved in all. They let you know that we are your friends. The people on the outside world, those ain't your friends. So there's an attraction to that, being in that bubble, and you believing in choice and stuff like that. So I could see him seeing the 17-year-old girl and saying, as soon as she comes up of age, and maybe telling her, like, you know, like letting her know, like, this is somewhere I'm trying to go.
Yeah. So with the religion that you're talking about, how rigid that people who are Jehovah's Witnesses can be, and how freewheeling and kind of inhibition ridding the music business in Hollywood could be. How could What?
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. How could his rigidity align with the lifestyle, which he even says he lives like a 20-year-old based on this particular lifestyle. So I don't even know how congruent him being a Jehovah's Witness and us trusting this commitment. I'm seeing. That's why I still think there's a bias that you two are unaware of and that you're defending. Because secondly, if he lives like a 20-year-old and whatever this flower that because she already had the kid. I'm not saying that anybody who has it. No.
She had his kid.
No. I'm talking about Marcus Houston, what he sees. I'm saying what Marcus Houston sees. I'm not saying what I see.
Right.
I think women with children are beautiful. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what Mark Houston seems to like flowers. Mark Houston like little flowers, and he still seems to be young enough. Now that novelty, she's not what he's seen when she was 17. Now I don't know what now, and I don't know what Marcus Houston's gonna. Marcus Houston might be in need of a new flower. How reverent is she gonna be with him in a few years? How much is this stuff gonna wear off? So the rigidity, and especially given the Hollywood lifestyle and his access to all this extraness and his power, but so I don't know.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
Go ahead.
Oh, Rick, you're making all the talking points that the women are making on YouTube. These are all their talking points.
Yeah, but,
Everything you just said, all the women on YouTube are saying
well,
the same exact thing.
I've never heard about the story.
Well, you're not, you're not
Can I
on
say
YouTube like
one
that.
thing?
But go ahead.
It's- Once you get to that point and you do have all those options, sometimes you realize it's not worth it. It's just like, you're saying, I want to get on that ride. That ride is the best ride ever. It's, ultimate ride. It's like, and then you get on and you're like, okay, it's not really everything. You get to a point, that my thing is, think about all these men that have celebrities that have, or very wealthy people who have all these opportunities, always end up marrying someone.
What if that ride is his wife?
Possibly.
All right, so I don't know if you're talking about the celebrity life him wearing off. Clearly, he just seems fickle. He just seems like he's always he's always seeking. He's more young-minded. He trying to put himself like he's a mature Don. He seems really young-minded to me, actually, to be honest. And I think you're putting. I think he's like. I think as a business person, he's probably older-minded than most people in the world, something like that. But I think he tries to portray him. He doesn't even speak earnestly. He speaks like he's always selling himself. He doesn't even speak honestly from his heart, like a grown man would. He seems like he's presenting an image. So I don't even. So he really talks like a younger person would talk. So I don't know. So I don't know why we assume all of a sudden he's mature. All of a sudden he's gonna take. I don't know.
What's the youngest you dated, or if you don't mind me asking?
When what?
No, period. Just, age gap. Let me phrase it, age gap.
What's
age
the biggest age gap?
Yeah.
Younger wise?
Yes.
Maybe 3 years, maybe. Wait, dated? Or it had?
Yes,
if it
dated.
Had to be at most 3 years. A lot of women I dated were, one woman was 10 years older than me. Another one was like 6 or 7 years older than me.
Do you like older women compared to younger women?
No, older women are just like older women. I just there's something admirable about how grateful they are sexually, and they're so nurturing. They're so just happy to be. They're not jerks. They're not like they're just enthusiastic and they're having their affectionate. I don't know, like they're
happy to be around you. They're happy to have an aura.
They're so interested in what I have to say. I don't know. But I don't know.
Okay.
All
right.
You know what's interesting? That my wife, I met her, she was 19 years old. And I liked her, and I saw a lot of potential in her. All right? And I met her mom. And I said to myself, I looked at her mother, and I was like, well, her mother looks pretty good. Her mother was like, tall, still attractive. A little like, a little more masculine than her daughter. Her daughter's super feminine. Because at the time, I used to gauge a relationship on the way the mom looked. So if the mom was like totally like out of shape and breathing hard and very undisciplined, then I would I would move quickly out, just to keep it as a friendly experience. And I really saw a lot of potential in this young woman at 19 years old. I was like, there's just something more than just her height. It's something about her. And I had a birthday coming up. And we were just like kind of dating. I would kind of call it like me courting her at 19. And mind you, I'm a 32-year-old man. And she's 19 years old.
Let me just stop you. I knew your situation beforehand.
Right.
I'm not speaking to me being against an older, younger person, which you guys keep going back to. I'm speaking to him, what he's presenting, seeming to be him just lying and lying for no reason.
This is what I'm talking about.
Being a liar. I'm
That's
talking
what I'm about to get
lies,
to. That's what I'm about to get
not
to.
the age gap. All right, but go ahead.
So when I saw her and I liked her, and I was like, yo, I think I see some potential here of someone, because that was me. Once I turned 31, 32 is when I started thinking more than just the bench, because I had at least 3 or 4 or 5 on the bench, and I wasn't serious with any of them. So I had about 5 on the bench at the time.
10.
10 on the bench. Well, Daniel and I, the 2 of them, we were sharing. So she was on his and my bench. Let's not play that game. So
He had a full roster.
And then they'll go to Daniel and lie to him. Me and me and Elvis, we don't be doing nothing like that. You know that, right? I know.
Whatever you gotta tell you,
just for me.
at
This is just for me.
I'm
So,
special.
I had a nice bench going, but the bench that I had, I didn't really see a true future with that bench, right? And then I meet this woman, 19 years old, who was something about her. She had that je ne sais quoi. She had something that I was just like yearning for. And after meeting her mom and talking with her mom, and we would hang out a little bit, the mom, the daughter, the little sister, and I. We might have dinner somewhere or go out somewhere. We would kind of like, then I met the grandparents, because I wanted to get to know who am I good if I'm going to take this girl serious. I wanted to meet the grandparents. I wanted to meet her father. And
I love some vetters, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, I was vetting the family. And I came to this conclusion early on that this young woman has so much potential, but she might be a little too naive. And maybe this is not going to be the best move to take this chick and deal with her the way I've dealt with every other woman most of my life. And for a year, I was with this woman and we did not have sex.
Really?
Really.
That's
Really?
insane.
Not a lot of people know about that. But I had a heavy bench, so I was taken care of, but I was trying to get to know this person. And what happened was I had a birthday come up and she went all out for my birthday. Mind you, she's like,
oh, did you show me a picture of that? Did you have crazy little
yeah. When I was wearing the pork chops and I was doing the cigars and all that. So when that happened, behind the scenes, the mom got very jealous of her and living this life, like going out to parties, being in bars, going to clubs, popping bottles. The mother was like, yo, what's going on here? So the mom actually told her to get out the house and kicked her out of the house.
Jeez.
So I took her on. I said, you know what? You can stay here with me. So she was like, no, I'm going to stay with my grandma. And then after about 2 weeks of that, her and her grandmother couldn't get along. So I said, no, it's cool. You can stay here. And I still wasn't smashing. I did not, because I was feeling like I was thinking too far in the future. I was thinking about my children. I was thinking about the life I would have with them. Like, what am I going to produce with this woman? How are they going to look? How are they going to be? Like, she's tall, athletic. So I was thinking very mature. So there are men out there. And then mind you, I was a high value man. I'm making $80,000 a year 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 20 years ago, I was making 80,000. 20 years ago, I was running a staff of 11, running the biggest, hottest bar in all of Harlem, making my boss millions of dollars. And it's like, she was I'm a high value man, thinking like a high value man, assessing this woman and kept her close. And I realized she's the one I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And it took me about 9 months to figure that out. In the meantime, I'm giving her money to go out to the clubs and get in the VIP room and have a good time. My only rule was you can't close down the bar, can't close down the club. You
Can't come, you
leave.
mean come too late. You gotta come home earlier.
Yeah, my thing was the club closes at 4 o'clock. I don't want you in that club at 4:15, 4:30, hanging out with the bartenders, hanging out with the VIP bottle girls. You got enough cab money, jump in the cab, and you should come over to my bar or the club, whichever one I was at the time, because I gave her massive freedom. I wanted her to express herself and feel beautiful and free. I didn't want to hold her down and smother her in any way. And let me just tell you, high value men, that's how they think when they meet a woman. When they see a woman and they see that potential, it ain't about sex. Because I had a heavy bench. Sex was nothing. Every single day I can get whatever I need done at the time.
Yeah, you're talking about thinking. You're talking about thinking or wanting sex. I'm not talking about wanting to have wanting to go for sex at first.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I waited a year, bro.
Yeah,
A year. That's
wait,
almost unheard of. And you know what was
Wait,
crazy?
is this in reference to Marcus Houston?
This is a reference to Marcus Houston potentially meeting a 17-year-old girl, not having sex with her, and waiting till they were
I
married.
never thought he was lying. Look, I was never denied.
Oh,
Why?
whoa! I think
Wait,
we need to rewind this tape.
No, I never thought. No, I never thought he was. Once again, I never thought he was lying about having sex with her. Like I said before, I never. I said I don't. I believe him if he says he didn't do anything physical or didn't cross the line.
Right.
sexually.
You did say that.
I
You
said
did say
that very clearly.
But you did
Now-
say he kind of winked at her and maybe kissed her a little bit.
Yeah, yes, and I stand by that. Okay, all right. Did you kiss her at all?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Well, see, it's like I know what you're talking about. Trying to get me.
And that was the key too. When we did finally kiss, I had told her, I said, listen, there's a lot on stake with this kiss here. If you fuck this up, we can't be friends. Because I dated a chick who we had a first kiss that was the most horrible, uncomfortable kiss in the world. And I wasted another year of my life because it just wasn't worth it. You know, you can't get past that first kiss. So, she did great. She passed the test on the first kiss.
See, my biggest thing. I think I was 16 years old, and that's what I think kind of messed me up. And this older woman kissed me. The best kiss, it's like smoking crack. Always try to reach that high. They say.
And you were 16.
16,
Dang.
and it was a woman in my building.
How much older was she?
She had to be 30 something, almost 40 maybe.
Wow.
But she was
That's a predator.
Puerto Rican?
No, black.
Black
Dark
woman.
skin, chocolate. That's why I think I love chocolate movies to this day. The most
Turned
beautiful
you
woman. I
out.
mean, like literally, she was one of the most beautiful women in our neighborhood.
I
And she
believe
did it
you.
in front of my friend. And it was easy. We were in the elevator. And I was like,
You know,
just being
messed up. You
sarcastic.
probably fell in love with her in some weird way. Because look how you put her pencil and you made her.
Well, the funny thing is,
an
my
image.
mother found out what happened and she ran her out the town. I was gonna leave it at that.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was.
She messed you up in a weird way because you probably were thinking about how long about her.
No, it wasn't
You
even
probably,
that. It was
she
just because I didn't know what happened to her.
reframed your
But
sexual, what you see.
no, I think she, as far as kissing goes, yes. But I didn't know she did want to have
Did you
sex
miss
with
her?
me.
Did you miss
No.
her when she was gone?
No, I never understood where she went or anything. I didn't care.
But you can still think about that kiss and you miss
Yes,
her.
I
don't understand that.
I do love the act of the kiss, the sensuality of it. The
So
way
you
she
missed.
kissed.
So yeah, but
It was a
you
kiss
can't
more so
separate.
than her.
But you could separate those
Yes.
things at the age.
Yes.
At 16, you could separate physical longing from emotional
Yes,
longing. I
yes.
don't believe you.
No, seriously, I really because I didn't even know what happened and I didn't even ask. I didn't find out till years
It's
later.
easy to
watching
get
it.
sprung when you're 16. She was
No.
attractive. She was beautiful. She
Beautiful,
kissed you,
but I
and
also-
you were not sprung.
No,
but you still.
no.
There's,
I have weird DNA.
Let's
Well,
get the
yeah,
rest of this.
Yes.
It's only like 2 more minutes.
actually, sure, man.
It gets good at the end, right?
No, it gets really good at the end.
Yeah, that thing is.
Yeah,
That was
At
delicious.
the end is tastier. At the end it's even tastier.
Master of the Impossible this summer on Broadway.
And I wasn't judging you, man.
I didn't think you were judging me, but I mean, a lot of people, they think it's impossible that a man is going to be around somebody so fine as this girl and not do anything when his whole objective was to wife her, put babies in her, and have a whole life. That's my thing. that it's been done. And I
She
know
was
for a
she was
fact.
absurdly
No,
attractive,
you know,
like unreal.
somebody needs to hear
She was
from me.
unattractive in a
Not
like
from-
unreal way.
Yo, dude, my wife was the top of her class.
Your wife's beautiful.
Attractive, yo. When she was coming up, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, we talking about she was drop dead. She was,
Oh, you got the stir? Let me get your stir.
yeah. So, yo, she was at 8, 9, and 10 of her time. Are you shaking it like that? Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, let's see what we got here.
You don't need the stir?
Oh, I did this.
Oh, not these.
Look at them.
No, she.
We had talked about.
See, it's. I don't know. I'm just looking for
Since she
trouble.
was like kid, literally talk. She always told me that like she was born to be a mother. That's all she ever wanted was to be a mom and to really start a family. That was like her dream to start a family. Me on the other hand, being an entertainer and being like I never really wanted kids. When I fell in love with her, it made me want a child. And I always was like, well, I guess it really does take the right person. So I think Zara was just special because she wasn't playing or anything. She wasn't not playing. And, that was like, it was beautiful to me because I never saw myself being a father. She made me want to be a husband. And she made me also want to be a father. And I wanted to give her, it's always been a dream of hers to start a family. And I was the person that she chose to give her a family. And I felt like special with that. And it's an interesting story. Like, now we got some stories. So, interestingly enough, when we first started doing movies, Kathy Hughes, she hired Chris to do his first movie. And it was a TV movie. So, we did our first film called Will to Love with Kathy Hughes. And which... From there, we started Footage Films. We started our own film company, So
I saw that
it was
movie.
challenging.
I saw that movie.
But
Whatever
we
they
got
all
it done,
did.
and
It
Chris
was
was
freaking ridiculous.
Actually,
That's what I thought.
it was a movie, so they bought our first couple of movies for TV One, and then we branched off from there and started Footage Films.
Now that you're fully immersed in it, is there that
Sharon
responsibility?
Reed.
Why do you? Since when? Why do we do this? What's all that about?
What was your issue with Sharon Reed?
No, I have no problem with her. That's it's expected the director just start. That's a thing. I never seen anything like that
Everyone
before.
wants their shine.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm
Everyone wants to be shining, right?
No,
She's a big girl too.
Because,
yeah, that's the same thing. I
That's
think
our
it
way
was
of like
how
how
we
we back to the community as well.
As an actor,
It is very difficult to juggle everything because
Just so you know, Kathy Hughes
running
owns
a now empire
Radio
that
on TV.
is
Is she related to the Hughes brothers?
And still, we still write our own scripts. Chris is a man that he wears so many hats. I don't even know how he does it all, but he likes to do it all. It's not that he doesn't want help. He just sees the vision. Like, he'll be in there mixing. He color time. It's just he does it all. Like he can, like what I said, when he can see the whole vision and then he sees it done. I'm more like, I gotta see it when it's done. Because if it wasn't for him, I'd probably be a little more lazy. But he pushes me all the time to be the best. Because he is a perfectionist. So he also pushes me to be a perfectionist. And within that, I think the success of Stepmother was it was beautiful because of all the hard work we put into it. And I think every success story has a backstory. I have very strong faith in God. And I know that if I continue to put everything in his hands, I'll be okay. Like, all the decisions that I've made have brought me to this. Like, if I wouldn't have had all the exes I had or whatever, I wouldn't have been able to marry Maya. And if I would
Exactly.
all the things where I am now in my life.
Yeah, let me tell you, man. I find so much truth in this. I've even hit you with this week when I was saying that all these relationships are just in your life happening so that it can prepare you for the right one. All the women that I was with prepared me for the one that I have now. And look, we've been together 18 years, longer than anyone we know. We've been to like 4 weddings. They've all dissolved and we still together. You know what I mean? It's like, I believe that you have to truly find a place in your mind, a future in your mind, And if you can see that future
Then you
with
can
that
pursue
person,
it, you're
you
saying.
can pursue that future. Everybody just like, I got a good vibe. We vibing. You know, now the vibe ain't right. You know, come on, jump in.
I don't speak like that.
All right, so now we're gonna go to the
I was gonna
article.
say-
I want you to go to the article and read that article real quick.
I'm
So
gonna
go ahead,
say this one thing. I dated a young lady. She is, let's say, 10 years younger than me. No, actually, probably 12. And our biggest issue was, I said, you need to be in at least 2 more bad relationships before you can appreciate a man like me. And now she's just like, oh, you were right. Like, because she's went out there and seen like, oh shit, like this is what it is. And what it is because I'm a little more mature. And I was saying I wasn't doing what those dudes were doing at that age.
Right.
But it's like now I'm at a point where I understand and I realize that you're seeing me now, not seeing the transformation of who I am. And sometimes it takes women to or just like men to realize, oh shit, I messed up.
Do you feel like you've significantly grown since that time? Since you were dating that woman? Like, should you recognize that person?
Well, it hasn't been that long, but it's more of every day my whole goal is to grow. So there's something, I'm not that same person, and hopefully she's not.
Is she somebody you can see yourself with?
Don't think so.
Okay, because here's the thing: those experiences that she went through, they now she has trauma. So now you got to deal with that BS. You see?
But I mean, I think it's just more of a realization.
I understood your point because I felt the same way about my wife. That if she had an opportunity to be with someone else, here's the problem though. If she was with someone else, then it wouldn't work out. Like, see, what you're saying is just good as far as like an example of people in your lives understanding that they need certain experiences. But I used to tell this is what I would tell, when my wife, this is a little extra really personal, right? But when my wife, when it came to oral, she would always have in the back of her mind, her mother used to tell her, don't you be out there doing that to no man. So her mother was raising her daughter to not be
Enthusiastic about oral and have like a block
enthusiastic.
there.
So there was always an issue with that. And I remember I said to my wife, I said, let me explain something to you. You know, you're my wife and I love you, but you have to understand that you don't need to go through 15 of these to get it right. You can make all your mistakes with this one right here, and all that stuff
so
that's
sweet.
bothering
That's
you in
so
your head,
romantic.
that you have all that damage, all that trauma from what your mother said. It's going to take you a while to get over it. But just know this, that no man is going to even date you until they see what that's like. Men are going to tell you, I want to see what that mouth do before they even consider having a relationship with you. And it's usually once they get what they want, they out of here. You don't have to have 15 men under your belt to understand that. Because when I met her, I tell you, she was 19 years old and she was only with 3 men in her life. Okay? And to me, that was right at the perfect level where I can deal with. That 3 at 19, and one of them was from a boyfriend from when she was 14, 15, her childhood sweetheart, and they were together for a very, very, all from 14 to like 18 or whatever have you. And he was like a jailbird. And the mom actually promoted that relationship and wanted to give her money all the time to go visit the dude. Yeah. The mom was like one of those moms, like, thought that was the prison life it's okay to date someone from a prison. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But, so, she didn't have to have, like you say, you basically pushed her out there to the world so she can look back and say, damn, did I drop the ball not taking Daniel a little more serious?
But it's just more about, that's true, but it's more about if we don't appreciate what we don't know. If somebody was given millions of dollars and always had it, to be honest, a lot of times it's hard for us to appreciate something. Right. It's because we always have it. And I think all of us are the same. It's like as men, we're handsome, we have all this plethora of women around us.
Right.
But as we get older, we realize, oh shoot, like it's diminishing. We're not the young guy anymore. And I always never wanted to be that old guy in the club, sitting
Definitely,
there
yeah.
looking at, hey, sweetheart, come here. You know,
Right.
I always despise these dudes. Like, damn.
Yeah. But yo, now that I've gotten older, I understand and respect those old dudes with the $700 in their pocket, talking about girl, put that $200 in
But
your
I'm
pocket.
not trying to be
And
an old man, 60 years old with skinny jeans on, trying to be young, and that's what gets me.
Yeah, right,
Like when they
right,
like,
right.
they don't
I
even
got-
look right. But it's more. But that's me. That's my thing. But it's also women. I think realizing the value of men. Some women, when you're young, I think we all young men and women. When you're young, you really don't think about it. Very few think about that.
Right.
Think about the value of men.
Oh no, the value of being with someone and growing with them.
Oh, you're saying being with someone who I guess you can see potential in, or being with someone
Potentially,
who,
yes.
being as a someone just
Women are
just
looking for the
taking
knight in
somebody.
shining armor, dude. They're not
What are you
thinking about a future with this person. They're not. They're thinking about the right one when it's gonna come. He's gonna feel me, my energy across the room, and he's gonna sweep me off my feet, and he's gonna, it's all, it's
So wait,
one
wait.
rom-com away from just lunacy. Women out here,
Yeah. So
you know.
But I also think men too feel like, oh, I'm gonna get this. Like it's
Tell me wait,
No,
don't
we
no,
talk-
tell me
yeah.
say that. Men feel like what?
okay. So it's not just women. I think men feel that too. Like we feel like we're invincible. Like there's always going to be another woman.
Right.
So we'll lose a good thing because we always think the grass is green on the other side.
What's a good thing that a man is losing?
It depends. It really kind of depends. I know I've always thought the grass was green on the other side. You can give me Beyonce.
But you're a consummate bachelor, dude. You're a bachelor.
Yeah,
Come
I'm very
on.
monogamous actually. I cheat a lot, but I'm in relationship after relationship. I'm not. I
like how you interjected that. I cheated a lot.
But I always have. But I'm constantly in a relationship or out of it. Even before I was dating my last fiance, I was in a relationship like a couple months before that, and before that, I was in a year-long relationship that was like maybe a couple months before that. You know what I'm saying?
So you're a serial dater.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and then your last serial dating
It
went
lasted
to
a long time,
it was a 6-year relationship
Yeah.
and an
But
engagement.
that's but there were many points where we probably should have broken up, and we got in pretty vicious, angry fights that we probably should would have been end.
No, dude, come on. What are we talking
I'm
about?
wait a minute. I'm talking. What are you talking about? What I'm talking about?
What I'm asking, or what I'm saying is that to just assume that you guys should have ended it
No.
sooner is to me not. It's like hindsight.
No. I'm not saying like that. I'm not trying to. No, that's not a dig. I'm saying, but I'm saying, there's something has to be indicative of my indifference and my persistent. I mean, I like the cheating just next level. Just like the persistency. It's not even like it.
You're saying that you're in these relationships with these women, but you're nonstop cheating on them.
No, not before, not this last one was next level. The one before that, not really. The one before that, maybe.
Yeah, but you're a young guy, Ulrich. You're not supposed to be with one woman in a relationship. Right now is the time where you should be considering it.
I only said that to
25
contradict the fact that the fact that I am constantly seeking out companionship and maybe even long-term companionship that I'm not trying to, even so much I'd be in relationships with the women I can barely hold a conversation with. I have to be the one running the conversation. But I'm not saying, but I'm so that the companionship it's not something I seek or take for granted. I feel like that's what y'all implying. Like I was give it and
You seemed a little triggered too.
huh?
You seemed a little triggered.
Because I didn't even know what that. Because I feel like you were saying, I don't know,
You're feeling a little like we're coming on you, like we're on your neck or something like that.
No,
I don't.
first of all, nobody's on my neck. No one's
I
ever on my neck.
stand.
That's what
I
say.
stand on this. If you are between 25 and 35, you should not be thinking about marriage. If you're a man, you should be thinking about how can I make
No, I know.
a certain amount of money? How can I make certain amount of connections? How can I be good to my group? Like look at D. D is out of here. He's going out of town. He's leaving the country for a week, and he has a group that he has. He has a group of like-minded men that think like he thinks, that have similar goals and aspirations, and then they travel all over the world together. And the reality of it is just that he's older than you. But my thing is, you cannot be in these long-term relationships with women. I don't care how much you want to be held and cuddled. You should not be lying to them and cheating on them and telling them lies. Let me just say this. Daniel B, I can't speak for Daniel B, but I would argue that women know that he's going to see other women.
Is that true, Daniel?
I think that's the old me. I think, there's a lot of truth in that. I think women.
Wait.
No, actually, I'm not even going to say the old me. I think I'm not going to commit if I'm not going to commit. And I think women know.
Yeah,
like,
but you haven't committed. You're
Yeah.
over 40 years old. You've never committed. You're living in a penthouse by yourself.
And now that seems like some shade.
That's not shade. That's just let's just keep it real. You have traveled all over you've been all over Europe, all over Indonesia. You've been all over the Caribbeans. You are a single guy.
Yeah, but my thing is, I am a single guy, but again, it took me years to realize my worth and the worth of someone else.
Your worth.
No, seriously, I was very very insecure, even though I seemed secure. It was
You
more
don't seem
about.
secure at all.
Wow, that's another woman's talking point.
Yeah.
I felt insecure. Dude, you're not insecure. You're a single. Listen to me, my guy. You're a single guy. You travel a lot, and you have sex with women.
You have sex with women.
You have sex with women, and you're going to be possibly, if you don't have it as a goal, you're not going to have a wife. You're going to be the 50-year-old guy in the cool scarf, driving a nice car, smelling good,
Wait, why do you
looking
think that
good
that's
with
not
a,
his
young,
goal?
with a woman. He
Isn't
never
that
says
your
that's
goal?
his
It's
goal.
not my goal.
He never says it's not his
Hey,
goal.
you
See,
ta- hey, you
whereas
talking
for me,
Oh, nah, you want to do what Marcus Houston did. That's what you're waiting for?
No, I'm good.
No.
I'm good on it. I'm good on it.
Right.
But here's the thing. For me, I knew when I met my wife, I said, this is the one I'm going to have that future with. I didn't necessarily want children because when I first met her, she was like, I don't want no kids, never. I never want kids. And I was like, oh, this is a dream come true. This is perfect. She don't want any children, but once she hit 26, she's looking at me like, yo, what's good?
Where the kids
Where the kids at? And I'm like, wow, what are you talking about? So, I dropped a couple of babies in her because this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I know that she has certain needs. And those needs are that clock is ticking. This guy here is a consummate, what's his name is like that? What's that guy? Al Pacino. These guys
Al
are.
Pacino was married.
Yeah, I think
He
it's
is.
complaining of somebody else.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, whatever. These men are single for life. I personally don't
Jack
want to be like
Nicholson.
that.
Jack
I don't
Nicholson.
like to be like that. I don't like to go to an amusement park by myself.
I
I don't like to drive in the car and just be by myself. I like to vibe. Me and my wife, we can just be in the car, don't say nothing, don't have no music playing. We're not even talking. We just vibing, really vibing. Like these people always talking about the vibe. I got a real vibe for 18 years, and that's because I saw that potential from that young woman.
I miss holding the bitch leaning on the train cars, leaning on the train door. She leaning up against you.
I don't do that. I don't
I
do
want
that.
someone to go to Applebee's with.
I don't.
I want someone to go to Applebee's with.
Wait a minute. You know that's a thing.
said,
Right
wait
now.
a
Okay.
It's
That
from a
black
movie.
man?
Nah, it's
Wait.
from a movie.
What do you mean it's from a movie?
What was that movie with what is his name? But it was from a movie, and it was just like I want someone. He was arguing. He was telling his wife, he's like, I want someone to go to Applebee's where he doesn't want to be alone. They were thinking about a divorce.
Nah, I
Well,
get it.
there's a
man.
big thing on the internet where this woman is saying that all these men, that's all they're good for is Applebee's. So it's like a big thing going on the internet right now. Anyway, we'll digress on that.
So you want to pause the segment and then
Yeah,
read the next one?
where's the stuff at? Let's read that. Come on.
We
You wanna do that this segment or you wanna do
Right
it
now,
next
right
segment?
now, right now. Let's do that right now because it's about
Hey,
Marcus
give me-
Houston, what he said.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right.
And you could just read the cliff notes, maybe.
I can read this. I can read this pretty quick.
All right, bet.
All right, Marcus. All right, so the title of it is Marcus Houston says he could have married older, but women his age may come with baggage and kids. All right. So Marcus Houston, 41, is detailing his decision to marry his wife Maya Houston, who is 19 years younger than him. The actor sat down with Page Six and explained that dating women his age may come with too much baggage.
Nice.
All right. Now, according to Page Six, Mark Houston explained that one of the red flags, including single mothers with children, quote, a red flag to me was always with a woman that has a kid. Nothing against single women, but single mothers with children are a red flag for me. Mark, wait, can I stop it because you want me to finish? Can I stop and say something?
Yes, please.
Yo, first of all, I've dated multiple single women with children, and they are so sweet. They're like the sweetest women on. They're the sweetest women.
How'd that work out for you, though?
I broke up with them. But it's funny.
So their kids got to see such a cool guy, and then you're gone. Good job. Good job, Ulrich. No trauma being caused there.
All right. You know what? I'm getting off down. I shouldn't have said anything. All right. Houston explained that he tips his hat and respects women raising children on their own. However, growing up, he never really wanted to have kids. Additionally, he explained his father advised him that if he was going to have kids, he should do so with a woman who does not have children. All right, another Marcus Houston quote. I would talk to my dad a lot, and he would always tell me to have your own kids because you never know what the baby daddy's all about. So if you're going to have kids, make sure it is with a woman that never had kids. So that was always my red flag. And a woman with an attitude. I don't like women with funky attitudes. Well, who does?
Contentious. Lips poked out. I saw my wife and I were driving yesterday, and this woman had on, it was all blonde roots coming out of her head.
Yeah.
And then she had it curled red. So this like Kool-Aid red. You know the Kool-Aid drink red?
Insanely like
Rain,
bright,
but it was
like,
a blonde,
bright
bright red, totally curled, but her face, she was so contentious, just walking with that. I mean, shouldn't this wig make you want to have a good time, blonde and red?
Yeah.
And you walking around with a frowny face, gag.
I see most women with the wigs have frowny faces. I didn't even want to digress with it, but
They hate themselves, you know.
All right. So the actor explained to him what deterred him from marrying a woman his age. Houston, who was 41, went on to acknowledge that his marriage to the 22-year-old Maya Houston. Additionally, he explained why he could have married a woman his age and decided not to. Women that are my age have they kind of have a different outlook on life. Like a lot of women my age are very independent. They are very like, I don't need a man to do this for me because I can do it by myself. I come from a generation that I love to provide for my wife.
Right.
All right, let me stop. Well, that makes sense because he's talking dating women his age. That would imply that they're single. So something brought them to be single at that age in the first place. So it's not older women, it's single older women. If they're married, they probably don't have those issues he's talking about.
Well, he's
Yeah,
not
of
talking
course.
about married women. He's talking about single
Yeah,
women.
but that's what I'm saying.
That
So
are 40s
I
got
think
so much baggage. Whoa.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. It happens.
So this motherfucker. But a woman his age it has nothing to do with a woman's personality or a woman's maturity. It just comes along with a woman. It's weird. It's like he almost has an out and escape, or making it okay that he married a younger woman because unless she's a recent divorcee or a widow, something tragic happened. Unless something tragic happened, then I mean, she must have an issue. There must be a problem that she's 41, she's single, and may or may not have kids.
You know what I think a lot of the thing is that we have a guy here who's talking about his father. And some advice that his father gave him was that, yo, don't go with a chick who has a baby. You know, what is wrong with a father telling his son this? A father tells their son this. A father says to his son, that's not the one for you, son. And then if he listens to that, why are we mad at him? Why is the world saying that Marcus Houston is a creep when he's just doing what his father said to do? That's a beautiful thing. If you can get your father, your children to listen to you and use the advice that you give them, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I didn't say Marcus Houston was a creep, but you know
No, I'm saying
I
that
think
the
he's being
internet,
facetious.
the
I think
internet,
he's
the
not being
internet got
honest.
this man he's saying that, listen, you're 40 years old, you got problems. You got problems. You got a lot of problems here.
Wait,
How
but-
many men have these women going through?
But actually, I think that there was a point where because this is actually long arm, but there's a point where I guess he's addressing the haters. All right, so Marcus Houston explained that he used the criticism. Oh, this isn't written correctly. He used the criticism regarding his dating. Marcus Houston explained that he used to criticism regarding his dating preferences. All right, that's how it's written specifically verbatim. All right, so this is his quote. In the immature days, y'all know Marcus Houston was part of Immature IMX.
Right.
All right. We would
Thank you for
have.
that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
know. I'm talking to the
No,
audience.
no,
I'm
no,
talking-
no,
I
no.
never listened to that
I
one
wanted
of
to
their
put it
songs.
together.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I never listened to that one of their immature songs.
Their album was really good.
I was into just Marcus Houston and his first stuff
I knew him
out
on
there.
Sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched Sister.
It shows.
And now one of them is thirst trapping all over IG. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. In the immature days, we would have light-skinned girls in our videos. Then people would question, why can't you get a black girl? And then it's like, oh yeah, I only like light-skinned girls. Then the plus-size girls come and get me. And I was like, man, I can't catch a break. All right, so
Right.
this scene in red dress, I thought that'd be more indicative.
Yeah. That's a good point because, like, you know, you where's the black girls in the video, which is my issue too. I cannot stand all these light skinned girls looking Dominican. Like, it just bothers me. I want to see some dark skinned women, but the thing is, right now, no one cares about none of that stuff. No, it doesn't even matter. But I can hear what he's saying. He's saying that there was a time that everyone would criticize you.
No,
Now, go ahead.
All right, I'll say the one thing. I've never been in a position like a crazy position by Marcus Houston that somewhat a celebrity, where he's having everybody kind of be into his life, but I find it really 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 odd that he actually addresses criticism like that. It's the oddest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
Why would
it's actually not
It-
like
it-
him. He doesn't
it-
really
it-
get
but-
involved with this stuff.
But this is indicative of celebrities. I don't know if it's their publicist telling them to
Right,
say
right,
things,
right,
but
it's
it's
pressure.
the weirdest, it's the oddest thing that they would actually have to say. Well, people be like, I do this, and people be like, why am I doing that? I don't even it baffles me that he's even addressing something that no one's happy. That's because people have opinions for you that
Right.
are not indicative of your wants and impulses. They're creating you don't know you're an artist, and you have an image, you portray an image, you lie to people and show them an image. So you created when I say he lies to people and show them an image, I'm saying when you're a celebrity, you're not going to be your full self. You're not going to be your honest true self. You don't want people to see certain sides of you.
Right.
That makes so you portray an image. So now people are applying that, and you are holding it to where as a role model in a weird way. If you're a role model to a big swath of people, I think rather than a community or a small or somewhat intimate gathering, I think you're presenting yourself as a false prophet. I think that's really there's something disturbing to that. All right, go ahead.
Daniel B., what do you got to say? Last words.
I'm with Marcus Houston and Jehovah.
Okay.
All right.
I think as a young man, let me just
You
finish
said,
this.
yeah.
I just feel like he's a young man, and he not as a young man, but he's a man, and he's finding his way like we all are. And
Right.
I just don't think we should just judge him. He's trying to find his truth, and she's trying to find hers. And if they're happy together for even whatever time they have, then so be it.
Right. I'm riding with Marcus Houston because I already told my wife if we don't work out, I'm going to go back to the Jehovah's Witness church.
I don't really have an opinion on Mark's.
I kid you not. This is what I've said that. When I saw Marcus Houston snatch this up out of Jehovah's Witness Church, gave me flashbacks. Those women were fine. Woo. And then they were the ones that, they wear the long skirts. But, a lot of them have the split in the skirts, and you see the fishnet stockings pop out on the low. I see you, Sister Garcia. I see you.
Yeah, I can care less about this Marcus Houston situation, but I do think he's capping a little bit. But I don't think he's that. I'm not like angry at him.
Thank you for that.
I'm not mad at him.
Thank you. This is Premium Black News, guys, where we will draw out a 8-minute video for an hour and 40 minutes.
It was a good video.
And we will go left, right.
Yeah, for real. I even know we're.
And then end up right where we started, and that is we riding. Well, 2 out of 3 is riding with Marcus Houston, and I think that they're gonna have, however long they have. One thing's for sure: this young woman's stock has gone up.
Definitely.
Okay,
It's a
so
nice
no
pink
matter
backdrop.
no matter what. Actually, interesting that you talk about this backdrop. It's what is the word?
Magenta.
It is magenta. And do you know something about magenta?
No, I think I heard it on Blue's Clues once when I was younger. So
Well,
I
magenta
just
is the color of this reality that we're in. This reality that we're in has a color scheme, and
how my algorithms are going mess.
right. Ulrich is afraid that my we possibly living in a construct. Push is keeping us down. But let's just say that magenta will always magenta. Now that we said magenta, you're gonna see magenta is gonna be everywhere now. Magenta is the color of this reality that we. It chooses colors every so often, and this is the color for our timeline right now. You are appreciated, y'all. Big Elvis to Chef Rosenberg. Donations will be in the description. I look forward to you utilizing that. There's so much being said here today that I just want to say that you are loved and appreciated. And everyone who's here, if you really want me to shout your name out, hit the Cash App, hit the Venmo, and I love you. Boom.